whether it's your school, whether it's your workplace, whether it's in a government institution that you might find yourself, but that we want you to understand that change has to begin with you, that it really starts with you. And as part of that strategy, in addition to the mass media work that we do, where I showed you the ads, we also do very deep community-based work, both leadership development and community mobilization. And the video that I just shared with you is of a group of young Muslim women in a city called Lucknow who happen to be embroidery workers. You saw the woman at the end who was embroidering. This is very old, traditional Zardozi embroidery that is from that region of India. And these young women, and here I'm also showing, I'm trying to show you the connection that we make between arts, culture, and rights. These young women have never left their homes and been in public spaces. And they find that being a part of a puppet group gives them the kind of agency, because there is that that's still of one step removed. They had to really negotiate a lot within their families to emerge in the public space that they now occupy. But they find that using the puppets really gives them a lot of power in catalyzing community conversations about different human rights issues. And we've trained in the last 5 years, I keep kind of losing track of the numbers, but about 50,000 people, young people as well as individuals within organizations that work at the community level. So, for example, we work with organizations that work with migrant laborers, or service providers of different sorts, or government officials at the local level. It's extremely challenging because this kind of change that you're seeing, the articulation of this kind of change, is slow. It requires intensive work over time. So this whole conversation that we've had in the last day about depth and impact and scale and impact is one that I think that is really a very important one for us to have, because we've been dealing now for the last so many years in the women's movement of trying to transform at the big aggregate level, and we still continue. I'm so sick of it 30 years later that we still continue to deal with the pandemic levels of violence that affect women's lives. So this question of how do we do the scale as well as the depth impact is something that we grapple with constantly. It's not always a very rosy picture. A few months ago, one of the sisters of, a sister of one of the women who had become a rights advocate in another state that we work in committed suicide. And she committed suicide because she was being severely battered by her husband, had been to the cops 3 or 4 times, and they had basically ignored all of her requests for assistance, and finally she was beaten really badly by her husband, and she killed herself. There's a big question as to whether she killed herself or whether he killed her, but the official verdict was suicide. And this was a devastating moment for all of us who are working at the community level at Breakthrough, because you know, this theory of change that you empower and that you create a community of people around you, and that somehow provides you with the guts and the protection to be able to move forward, really slammed up against the wall of what happens when you don't have government policies and services in place to then deal with the whole issue of impunity, which is something else that we've talked about a lot. Because here we had a situation where this man could continue to basically torture her with impunity. And so as a result of that, we have started to work with cops and prosecutors. And you know, we've been doing that work in the women's movement for many, many years. But we find that when you look at a community and say, okay, in this state of, say, Karnataka or Uttar Pradesh, we're going to work in 7 districts and really mobilize multiple stakeholders around the issue of violence against women. So we're not just going to work with young women, we're not just going to work with the government, we're not just going to work with religious leaders, we're going to work with everybody who plays a role in affecting that woman's life. And so then those rights advocates, like the young women that you saw, aren't just transforming their individual lives, they're then beginning to intervene in their families and at the community level around all of the social, cultural, economic, and political norms that affect their lives. And that's the theory of change that we're trying to figure out how to go to scale with. I want to share with you another story of a rights advocate, of an HIV positive woman. It's actually highlighted, but did I just, oh, you're there. We could just, yeah, if you could just play that, that would be great.
मेरा नाम अनीता मौर्य है। मैं गाजीपुर की रहने वाली हूँ। मैं 3 साल से HIV पॉजिटिव हूँ। HIV के साथ जी रही हूँ। मेरे 4 बच्चे हैं, 3 लड़के और 1 लड़की। मेरे हस्बैंड को 6 महीने हुआ एक्सपायर किए, जो कि HIV पॉजिटिव वो भी थे। उनकी ART चल रही थी। जब मेरी शादी हुई थी उस समय मैं 6th क्लास में पढ़ती थी, और जब गौना आया तो उस समय 8 में थी, लेकिन विदाई मेरी नहीं हुई थी। और ये 10वीं पास करके मैं गई थी ससुराल। 2-4 दिन ही साथ में रहे थे पति। वो सूरत पावर लूम चलाते थे, तो उनका आना जाना 1 साल में 2 साल में लगा रहता था। मेरी मम्मी हमेशा बीमार रहा करती थी मायके में, तो उनकी देखभाल के लिए मैं मायके में ही ज़्यादा रहती थी। जब वो आते थे परदेश से तभी मैं आती थी यहाँ ससुराल में, फिर मैं मायके चली जाती थी। 2006 में मेरे पति का टेस्ट हुआ तो पॉजिटिव निकले, और जब मेरा टेस्ट हुआ डॉक्टर बोले कि आपको भी टेस्ट कराना होगा, तो मेरा पहला नेगेटिव निकला था। लेकिन जब उनकी परिस्थिति ख़राब होती चली गई, दवा बहुत ही हालत उनकी नाजुक हो गई, तो उन्हें जब BHU में एडमिट किया गया तो वहाँ भी डॉक्टर मेरी जांच लिखे। जब जांच में पता चला कि मैं भी HIV पॉजिटिव हूँ तो बहुत तकलीफ़ हुई, क्योंकि 4 बच्चों का भविष्य था आगे के लिए। पति भी ऐसे थे और मैं भी, तो बच्चों की देखभाल कौन करता, क्योंकि परिवार में कोई सपोर्ट करने वाला नहीं था। और बहुत ही अपने आप को संभालना मुश्किल हो गया था उस समय, लेकिन संभालना पड़ा। और आज बच्चों के लिए जी रही हूँ कि बच्चों के भविष्य के लिए कुछ सोच सकूं और कर सकूं, उनको अपने पैरों पे खड़ा करके कुछ लायक बना सकूं। HIV पॉजिटिव अगर पति हैं, पत्नी भी HIV पॉजिटिव है, तो सास और ससुर जेठानी जो भी परिवार के लोग हैं उनको बहुत तकलीफ देते हैं। जिनके पति HIV पॉजिटिव थे उन महिलाओं को घर से धक्के मार के निकाल दिया गया है कि तुम जाओ, अब तुम्हारा यहाँ कुछ नहीं है, कोई नहीं है। जब हम शादी करके घर में आते हैं तो हमें लक्ष्मी कहा जाता है, लेकिन जब वही पति नहीं रहते हैं तो हमें कुलक्षणी कह करके बाहर निकाल दिया जाता है। ऐसा क्यों होता है महिलाओं के साथ? ऐसा समाज में क्यों होता है? ब्रेक थ्रू की ट्रेनिंग से मुझ में बहुत बड़ा हिम्मत और हौसला आया। मैं एक घरेलू महिला न हो करके, एक सिमटी सी महिला न हो करके, एक घूंघट में रहने वाली महिला न हो करके बाहर आई, समाज में आई कि मैं अपनी उन बहनों के लिए कुछ करूं। मैं उन बहनों के लिए कर सकूं जिनका कोई नहीं है, जिनका कोई सहारा नहीं है, जो 3-3, 4-4 बच्चों को ले करके घर से निकाल दी गई हैं पति न रहने की वजह से। मेरा काम है HIV पॉजिटिव लोगों को जोड़ना, उनको सेवा प्रदान करना, BHU तक ले जाना, उनको ART दिलवाना, उनकी जांच करवाना। हमारे प्रदेश में UP-NP प्लस है जो कि हमारी ही कम्युनिटी का है, उसमें जुड़ करके मैं काम कर रही हूँ। तो इसमें ब्रेक थ्रू का बहुत बड़ा हाथ है, जिससे मुझे बहुत बड़ी शक्ति मिली और बहुत बड़ा हिम्मत और हौसला मिला। मुझे तो जो हिम्मत आई वो तो बहुत ही हिम्मत आई कि आज मैं DM से, CMO से, हर एक बड़े अधिकारी से मैं बात कर सकती हूँ। मेरे दुख सुख का साथी, जो मेरे साथी हैं, उनको मैंने चुना है कि जो मेरे आगे ज़िंदगी में हमेशा साथ रहें और भविष्य में हमारा हमेशा साथ दें।
I didn't show you the third Bell Bajao ad. Do you guys want to see that?
Yes.
Okay, so can we just go back to the software engineer one? Yeah, below. Yeah, perfect.
घड़ी कितनी बार कहा है तुमसे मुझे अपनी चाय गरम चाहिए तो खुद ही गरम करके पी लो क्या कहा क्या कर रहे हो तुम बहुत चलती है तेरी बहुत चलती है तेरी तुम जैसों को कैसे समझाना बेटी तो
क्या वो सही टाइम क्या हुआ? ऑड पीस। आपकी घड़ी 3 मिनट स्लो है।
Bring domestic violence to a halt. Ring the bell.
So, there's 4 pillars to our work. Media, arts and culture, community mobilization and leadership development, partnerships. Everything that we are able to accomplish at this level of scale is because we really pursue partnerships. It's very challenging for women's organizations to get resources. It's very challenging to get the kinds of resources that you need to really be in that level of public space in a continuous basis. And so without the partnerships that we've been able to develop with Ogilvy, the entertainment industry, and the thousands of organizations that we work with at the community level, we would never be able to achieve the kind of scale that we have been able to do with the very tiny budget and staff that we have. And then the 4th thing that we are really working on very hard is what we call learning and sharing. You know, there's this whole tendency now, particularly in the funder movement, in the funder world, to talk about evaluation and monitoring, and indicators and outcomes and outputs, and how do you measure change, and you know, you'll get a grant for $100,000 over 3 years, and the funder will say, so, has the incidence of violence against women in India decreased as a result of your efforts? And you know, I'm sure many of you experience this in your work, but we've taken on the issue of learning and sharing very seriously, because for us, and for me, having been a part of the women's movement for as long as I have, it's really important for us to ask hard questions of ourselves as to what's working, what's not working, how do we need to transform the ways in which we're working, and how do we really claim that space to make the world one where human rights are respected, not just for women, but for everybody. I mean, we've been talking about this for a very long time. And so we actually do go through baselines in terms of identifying the issues that women are talking about, whether it's discrimination against HIV positive women. One of the earlier campaigns that we did was called Is This Justice? And it was focused on the issue of women who are HIV positive being thrown out of their homes, as Anita talked about in her context. Another campaign we did focused on men infecting their wives, because all of the conversations around HIV happened around sex workers and never around what men were doing sort of within their homes. These have all been issues, including Bell Bajao and women saying, you know, we really need men to take a stand. So we baselines, we do end lines, we look at attitudinal shift. All of these stories, these video stories that you're looking at, emerge out of something called Most Significant Change Technique methodology, where we go into communities that we worked in to identify what are the success stories that the community says have happened as a result of breakthroughs intervention. So not just us saying, hey, look, this is the great thing that we did, but the community that people are working with telling us, you know, those women with their puppets, they rock. So those are the ways in which we are also looking at the mass impact of the work that we do, as well as the community impact of the interventions that we're making, and looking at how we can share those things. So I really echo Zainab's earlier comment about it is time for us to roar. I think media, arts and culture allow us to roar in all kinds of creative and very effective ways. And I thank you again for giving me the space to share breakthroughs, work with you.